Now with my keys. Hope it wasn't down the entire time. Need to get back. The memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have me scrape off the street outside of in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day I first met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Still, if you must know, a good friend of mine died. Didn't survive the crash. Then Fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he'd never bothered with one. I was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant until it happened. What has me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've just registered on my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through with the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, only 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, not much time to make your mind up. Mark my words, friend, when there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. Give me a word. I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. And that they're still afraid. That's a point of concern, don't get me wrong, but I think we were acutely aware of it already. The fights, there's gonna be fights over the new regulators. The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report. Victim of violence wasn't wearing a regulator. That's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we'd normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this was a pattern or not. It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who jumped for joy when I brought them packages, the old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. How are you today? Please let me know if I may be of service. Citywide casualties data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation zone then? You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured 87 individual. Casualties 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators 0. Yep. Wish to know if the people who died in Machine Rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to cleaning away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. Nobodies were present at the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their works. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered around about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. I think time to rejoin Kral and Speen. I was half joking with the boast of Shell, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiries. When Kral say to meet them in the plaza just outside of Trueview, let's get going. So I'm pretty sure the white dust is people who had the new regulators, because that's what happened in point 2, where there was someone and then dust. So essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators? Well, the numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Instate fear and make them have to take new regulators. Based solely on the lack of a neo regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless, or if they simply failed to acquire one of the limited devices, or those who wear no regulator at all. They have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. I hate the chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. Localix has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. Make a good point. Perhaps this showing of terror is in service to another scheme, or he had some other need for the life he's taken. Why does it scream primal? Something had been done to the victim. Why does what Kraus said scream primal? I wonder, what about the sanitation worker's story? She saw nobodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but nobodies. Now, where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Aaronville from the sentries in the outskirts? That Usher Malachite told us much the same thing? Yep. Point 2. When I arrived, I found nobody, only a pile of dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of the dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calix's murderous actions. Thank you, Sasha, for the follow. Yeah, we need your help. I've lost control over the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it, our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go.
Stay back! Stay away from me! Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
Sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Go to them, quickly! Wayakwe!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother! Mother, please!
Isadora! Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Was reckless. Couldn't have had two times ending my wounds as well. You see our other comrade back there? Stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard that sound of fighting. I'm sorry. Must have fallen protecting the residents. I wonder. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he is wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please. It isn't safe for you. You still need. It isn't safe, and you still need rest. Will you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will tend, friend. Thank you. Please be careful yourself. Is Isadora going to be alright then? Bad. I just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally like any other, then all of a sudden it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. It's over. He came as soon as Wayakwe sent word. Sorry, by the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geo could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly, we're not sure of what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector, though at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree. As most of Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Yakwe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. No sign of Geo, perhaps you should search further to the east. No sign of Geo, Wayakwe's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode, answer me. In response, perhaps you should continue to search further to the east. I do believe there is a cutscene here. And oh no, it's just... Oh, that's a long survey. If you see no sign of Geo, then a residential radius would be the next logical place to.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it. That dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit. Damn you! You can't be here! You need to run, now! A trap!
Ching.
Take care of the others, eh?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now? I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promised to halt my harvest?
Oh, virgin. Only speak it.
It was foolish of me to even ask. I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
All of this. Zald left behind. That his twisted way of returning. Damn you, Cal. Damn you and your callous cruel. He was our friend. Even so, some might say even death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. The reflections stolen the Aether allow for many more endless, why that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. Know only too well there is not noble sacrifice. You have to stop him. You have to find Calyx and put an end to his madness as soon as possible. Under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Dumia. It falls to us, we will thwart his plan. Here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocence and reflections elsewhere. We should return to the back room. Shell and the others need to know what happened. Guess I'll ask Oyakue to meet us there as well.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Golulja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy, living our lives? What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Jude he was an old brother to Nostalgia and me. I knew him longer. Is surely taking the hardest. That's on top of what happened with Kiwa. Do you think you could check on her? See now she's, see how she's doing. She's like put on a brave face. It's me or my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Calyx. I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this. You're right. I ought to heed my own words. Stands, I'm of no use to anyone. Kafkiwa used to say the best things to do with grief, to let it all out. I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky, say my goodbyes to... Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've shoulder to spare. Right then, let's get to out of Everkeep for a bit. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. They've had their communications modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to see control of them. Say the word and we'll set off. Ready? We'll be flying close to Pyron, so follow my lead. Their wheelers are general speed. You won't find a smoother ride in all of Everkeep. I know I have one. For years now I've been taking one out for a turn whenever I needed to lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too and we'd end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. That's helped clear my head at a touch. You know, Dunya, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least, the memories from my regular days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be cleared of pests now. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the path. That it's slowed down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do good justice. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
Oh! What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances.
And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I had recently lost someone close to me. I had also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. They paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
He fuels my little spending waking up working to crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Vivian needs you. Why is it always Pyre goes for the four most useless stats? Time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the puzzle. I'll ask Kral for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parent. Kral, they were the first to break away from creation and establish an organization resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Damian? Yeah, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts and cannot help but feel as though something's amiss. Might ask you to join me? Your perspective, most appreciated. Can wait until you finish tending to Shale, of course. Your plans have been good for you. Go on, I've got others to speak with before I return to the back room. Yeah, thank you. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affair. As I am yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? I hope to be proven wrong. I fear something is not right here. Unit wiring a regulator. Don't you know the end is coming? They all have black rig. Well, it's your life to lose me. I got myself one of those new Neo regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, the display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. Maybe those weren't chosen, but I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Yeah, it's weird. They're weird. Oh, please tell me you brought more Neo regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there were a few left over. Really, the government still has some, or perhaps Queen's Fiend. I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave that a second thought. But now that I know the truth, it's all I can think about. There was a way. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. Yeah, something's gonna happen. Greetings, I remember when you visited with Queen Fiend. Come to check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Not knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor for Neo regulators has reached a fever pitch. I personally was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now I must begin my prayers. Darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and we must cast it out. What do you think? Was I right to worry? Yes. Yes, that is exactly it. The people are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear. And with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into full-blown panic? Probably 5 seconds. Yeah, can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lamachi and Elfino. Sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. And voice cutscene. So terminal.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Alex.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Val Wuklemat! You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more Neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulichola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
To the core system, which means that if he chooses to do so, he could deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, it will not be beyond his. Yet if it serves to allay their fears even a little, I beg you, please let them shelter into Tulichola. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We are we've already begun evacuations and will be able to pick up the pace once the Lance Guard arrive. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye out on the crowds. The mood is tense and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calyx is hiding, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. You can't elude us forever. Violence and fear, this is not the future she envisioned for her nation. Tulial would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? Klamath. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. Both felt that people's joy as our own. Yet alone, we lack the strength to protect them. There's so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe. That made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been. When she turned in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swear that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I hate how whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. Forget about me. How could we not be where we are now without you? Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. Should probably be on our way. We patrol, or see if Shell needs a hand. There you all are. Gulja. Ah, splendid. We're afraid we'd miss you. Aliza and the others said you were here. Good news, Dunya. We finally found chink in Calyx's armor. Discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. A containment complex sent to 29 called. It's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. I don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. Interested? What do you say we all go and check it out? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up, we need to take the lift to get to that complex. Clear this expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate that said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. For instance, because that's not the dungeon we're getting. Ready to head on up the level. Just an area.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working! Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Krile and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
We all know our main objective with the weapon. I've learned of a certain device that should help us with that. I'll explain now as we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the devices in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now as for where that might be, yes, this matches my data. Marin's Researchers Commons. Located in the western side of the complex, the director office is to the northeast of here. So we should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes. Yes, we should, but Fortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it's probably part of some kind. Can't you know, work some electro magic? Try my best, but this type of luck is well before it may take a while to crack. In case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. It shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Well, let's get searching, shall we? Expect we'll have the most luck looking. Searchers kept their personal belongings. With personal belonging. Shipping unit holds some office supplies. This the drawer already open. You can tell at a glance that the owner has left some things behind. How could that be what you're looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens. Open, you did. A good thing too, I was getting nowhere with that outdated service. Curious though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by our director, Demetrius. Or so that journal told me. Perhaps there are more answers we had once we venture further inside. Let's continue onwards. The door. The director's office is across the central hub. I probably don't have the right access. I'll still do it. No good, maybe we need a different card. Yeah, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay shafts me, we'll just have to come through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the cards we need. Let's start by searching the proto lab. The door is already open at least. Find a way through together, Shell, I'm sure of it. The way this room is set up, the canisters inserted into the large devices look to be a still cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Gulja mentioned a locker over in the corner that couldn't open. Perhaps we could take a look. I won't. Data tablet. Appears to be a search personal data tablet. Today we can my employment at an ideal. Alex is basically one of the best there. The locker door is shut tight But the number pad suggests that inputting the... Oh, I check. Alright. The result of experiment 158 with a marked improvement in the along with few remaining worldly eggs. Preserve the numbers, 158. Feeds into soul cells. I am reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Literally just 158. Those seem to be about the research they did. Learned one grade thing in 2019. Efficiency 158. 11,509. Security card. Got the locker open. Found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. Did well, do we? These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives, leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagined they'd be more, what's the word, bloodless, mechanical. My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It seemed the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assumed those who could not or would not eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much he admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right, let's move to this investigation to the other one. Well, we have the Deutero lab and maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. Let's back to the hub and the locked door across the which will hopefully yield more before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. do. Well, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. Possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The room is down the other branch of the corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Terra lab. Oh. Gauging power supply. No good. Returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then you need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Well, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Zero lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to the cable. What about these platforms on the floor? Would this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Putting the control panel into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. What would it give for an instruction manual? If you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then will you be willing to try and configure the circuit path Dumia? The rest of us can help by supplying Dumia with whatever information might be found in the circuit configuration. Here the 4-circuit panel provide an symbols must represent the room we're in. The squares on the top left shows terminal, then the bottom right the generator that Golja is working on. Yeah, bottom right is the square. And this seemed like a circle. One of each at the same time. Yeah. I wonder see what it looked like. Square circle. And there. If we configure, you have connected the server. Worked. We did it. Yeah. The tutorial lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shell, could we access a certain data log before moving on? Was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation in the early days is the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. It looks to be a text-based. I'll read it out. Preservation and Alexandria Institute for Technology Development was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge. Calix's design for new defensive solution funded in large part by the treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled preservation's research towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into the field continued even after the Storm Surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. This account is from before he embraced his endless existence hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating, publicly regarded. Even the royal family was aware of his achievement. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death, and now I can hear this minded well behind his words. But was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to the somber youth and his proposal for preservation. Several years later, ensuing violence brought the death of both my overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne. I suspect they spared the reports on endless research and other urgent matters. I had no way of knowing that kind of person Calix was. What kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideal over compassion, and I failed to see it at a time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his goal to deliver mankind from this. Calix should probably go speak to the IA. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape or also the what's the Omicron. We cannot allow him to shape our future. Press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once over just to be sure. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. Security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a short wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Right, I'll get this door open. Smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what. Wait. What's above, isn't that? Yeah. Interdimensional fusion. That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. They've used it to make another key. But isn't it missing a shard inside the one Dumia has? May have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, Preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? Split itself is the. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is, as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mysteries. Preservation augmented it with electro, but never grasped the underlying principle. This day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion, not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by Preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in the room on our next visit. I will have to enlist Installer's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelon. That means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good for us. Probably for minus card. Oh, did you just find a security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. The staff shall examine it first. Well, if it isn't exactly what we needed, nice work, Dumia. Oh, a level 3. That should get us into the director's office. What was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't probably explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered its ostensibly abandoned complex, I have performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep security. cameras. Considering the way Calix is always one step ahead of us, must assume he's quietly seized control over the city's surveillance system, and has been using it to monitor our activity. Monitors what you, as the key holder, are planning. Since Calix is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to it. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic. Then you can pinpoint Calix's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calix said he was measuring Dumia's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? Ron. Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. Most recent recording was also I was able to restore the data though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the showdown.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me.
I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calix's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject.
But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research.
I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
And wanted to be executed. I checked the images against the personal date, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Dimitrius. Thing I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with men. Cameras in his room have been out of operation ever since that incident. And that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to control his deed from the other researchers. Surprised given how my parents described their defection from They spoke of rushing me through a portal even as preservation's agents closed in on. I dare not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their punisher. Right, the echo, knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Wow. You're not Sven. Thanks to the haven of living memory, I was able to meet and learn what they stood for. It's enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents' situation, but what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movement. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. The director's office. There we go, let's head inside. Now to find that data relay, and don't be shy, everyone speak up if anything odd catches your eyes. You come with me, I might need that security. And this terminal isn't connected to any outside network, but can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the max check. And but if we're in the right room, what am I missing? Yeah, could I ask you and the others to search the office for any kind of clues to this infuriating puzzle? Having lain dormant for years, find a crumpled note wedged between the file binders, secure with access. Requires password to be input instantly at terminals in the Portal Lab, and the director's office. That's it. Perhaps the discovery would be of interest to Shale. Collection of soul cells may once belong to the director. They appear to be empty. Little personal effective in director's data tablet. Tools locker stands next to the table. Locker. Ah. Yeah. Contains nothing I note, you quickly shut that out. Yeah, no, I'm not reopening the Alex fanboy. Pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the content. The report. Nothing of note. Mystery of the key activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core energy. Alerting researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory facilities of 4 personnel should be intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for Aether reclamation process. Nothing of note. Rejection, resignation of 2 Malala researchers. Major incident details in full report. Those 2 inept Malala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instrument to conduct his deprived of the object of our research. Existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depth of his disappointment. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to Aether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived, and the endless conversion will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. He does not deem us fit, and are not deserving of eternal life. On protocol. All personnel have undergone Once the shutdown protocol have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise. Must be ready for its future operation or in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. That end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for security room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Yep, it's having 3. Have you found something? Thank you, a misplaced note was it? Instructions for assessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No precautionary measure, no doubt. If passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed. Concealed by electrope, you mean? Could it... that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kefki was used to say, Shell? Never trust an electrope surface. Really never had that property in my time. Mia is having a little fun, I think. What we mean is Electrope can project a false appearance. In which case it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door. Managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. We 2 people should prepare the lab term for input while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. I'll take the Actually, it might be better if you stayed. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I have lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. We'll take tutorial lab. And keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Yeah, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take to your place terminal. I'll stand by to guide Vuklamat and Kral through the process. You know, there was a display plate over there, one with the gems. I thought that it was made of electro, but might have some other purpose. I couldn't find any switch or button to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. You're missing a gem. We need to find a probably green gem somewhere. In the locker. Is it in the Calyx locker? Nope. Display plate. Usual are embedded in the electro plate. You unveil the blue gem as a sapphire and the red gem as a garnet. Also appears to be an empty where there. Now I can put the electrons right there. To be in. I knew that Joel would come. So must be about the special meaning of gem before. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet If you ask Sween, she could tell you more about it. Fire. Yes, you have a question? Well, I was taught that right, and the concept of protection, and also the origin of protection. Sapphire and the garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meaning. Alexandrite is, as I said, it's protection, sapphire is honesty, and garnet is devotion. Yes. We're all set to go here. Uklamat and Kral are just waiting on their passwords. Lab is the northern one. Yes, it's the northern one, so it's... I should... backwards. Honesty, devotion... Honesty... Devotion... Protection. Oh, I'm so glad. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. That really is anywhere, it has to be there. Venture in as soon as Wukamat and Kral rejoin us. Alright everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is. But whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The Endless are memories. And if memories are data, then...
Yes, We suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso Terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso Terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the Source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been. Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
It was an adventure. May not have been by the method Shell was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find what we need to do. Indeed, while I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, it is an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until it was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. That infuriating condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, ugly weasel. Anyway, I know that things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about Preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean this to you all, providing whatever support I can. Yeah, we've briefed Erenville and on everything that has happened and sent word to the other. Now, but to consider what our next action. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. Though it feels much like riding face first into an ambush, you have little choice if we are to destroy the memories he supposedly has stored in the upper reaches of the Mesoterminal. Then that is where we must. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, nevertheless, did my due diligence and confirmed that the relay we found was indeed transmitting Torrent's data to the device somewhere in living memory. When you go to fight Calyx, please let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, for the other Sphene I may have become, but most importantly for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. Thank you for understanding what this means. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. It hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. But I meant where Alisaie and the others at this point that they have already left for living memory. I'm more than ready to do the same. I'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing neo-regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Oh, Lumia. Well, and I think that we should talk to Gosan before we leave for living memory. Under Calyx's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down will have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. That's why it's not the dungeon quest. Okay. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosan will approve or oppose our chosen course, but either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, we should be on our way. Resolution first, yes. Safe everyone. We'll see you when it's over.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not Preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calyx.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn? Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us, for a start. For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help. Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
A battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about. We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, It falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is. No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Steve.
Lamity, you used her name.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sveen has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
So warm. Ever a stalwart. How glad I am. You go. That decision must have been difficult to make. Only I could claim the courage to do so came from within. The final push came from Alexandria's people. And they're brave, taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock that neo-regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registration from reaching the target number. Should be glad to do so, but I fear I have no avail. According to our most recent survey, the number of neo-regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. Minus the surplus units are to account for those like myself who have had a change of heart or are otherwise hesitant to register. That does sound like something Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way. No point in delaying the inevitable unto living memory.
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
At this puts our comrades sail in for battle. As for us, we went ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note, aside from with the Mesa terminal itself. What's happened to the Mesa? The wall has receded to provide a convenient entrance into the structure interior. There was no such ingress when last we were here, so we must assume that Collex has since manipulated the terminal's electrode. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I am eager to accept for the sake of all who love Alexandria. I will not yield nor leave them to despair. I believe everyone determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall make our way to the terminal. We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent hosts waiting. Well, here again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For centuries I slept here, unawakening on the world. I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first, didn't recognize a single thing. Thought everything I loved had gone to the yet beneath the unfamiliar surface remained the same. For that I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia, their royal knights, laid their lives on the line to defend. I think every Alexandrian believed in our future and passed on our legacy. I thank my other self, who so loved this. And I thank you all for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. Let us make our stand together and fight for what we all. And gentle Queen Sphene was to serve her people, though she will serve them no more. Freed from conscience, I shall become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, the devourer of war. You have my gratitude, and surely Otis and Zelenia will join us in spirit. Let's head inside and finish. In the upper reaches of this terminal await the device which holds Calyx's memories. Falls up to us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. Aye, we must bring matters to the definitive end. Will not suffer him to cause Alexandria's future further harm, nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Dumia for good reason, and besides, it would be a tragedy indeed to relinquish a relic with so much potential. Apparently, Calyx, in your measure, I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. I wholeheartedly concur, yet would still conceal a caution that he would be so bold as to extend us an invitation bespeaks Menge's confidence in his preparations. Come friend, we set forth to the midst, dreaming endless. Now accessible. How fast? I don't know. 5 minutes. Let's use some pops while I go on. Wasn't too. I'm ready for dungeon. Esattamente.
Ah, you've come. I'll begin by wearing you down. created new Endless for you. Not all are warriors, but they will follow orders. Kill and survive and so forth. Here, I shall prepare the stage for battle.
Why is the Ren Mage single targeting?
The memories of a physician. One who saves lives should be reluctant to die.
First. Insert deprivation.
Oh, you've overburdened the system. No matter. It served its purpose. Next, we visit a prison of sinister repute. I need not compel them to fight.
Why Jolt 3? That's single target, no evac.
These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals. Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it? Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Both of the DPS are dead. Yes. I'm pretty sure I know how to DPS.
Beginning to tire? Good. I bid you continue on.
Why are they single targeting in AoE?
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well. The enemy is at the gate. To arms, good soldiers, protect your kingdom. Very well. If one by one they fall, I'll send them all as one. Recall the anguish you felt when you faced death.
Wait,
and
Necron is not the trial.
Rise to defend your nation.
Or is that not Necron?
And your loved ones.
Yeah, that's what people presume was Necron. Remeld, Mortal Ground. That's not the trial. Okay.
Rise and meet the foe before you. An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares. It is the midst of the storm surge. Countless lives are lost in the senseless conflict. The war swells in scope and intensity. The bombs rain down without pause or mercy. The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash. Death is everywhere, pillaging the promise of the future.
don't understand how to know where the laser are going, but
Sphene?
The Endless he sent against us. They were from the time of the storm surge, before I was placed into stasis.
As far as we know, the only sector to escape the shutdown was the one containing Calix's memories. Assuming a chronological system, every other memory stored in that sector would belong to people who lived around the same period in history as he did.
Calix, how long have you pursued this madness?
We seem to have exhausted his defenses for the moment. I say we take advantage of this lull to press on.
Calix!
Well done. I commend your perseverance. The entirety of my memories are stored within this device. In the early stages of Endless creation, we established several core tenets. One is a prohibition on memory duplication. Despite the inherent risks, I agree and abide by this. Memories are the essence of the self, and should not be diluted. We each have our goals. You seek to destroy your target. I seek to reclaim the key. Shall we forego the posturing and begin?
Do not doubt that we are here to fight, and I do not mean to lose. Yet, as one born of the same era, I must ask, why do you pursue your evolution with such fervor? What do you hope to achieve with this eternal existence?
Your question is meaningless. I have ascertained a superior path to mankind's preservation, and that which must be done is that which I can do. What other reason do I require? Surely you have seen it. Traditional survival strategies are at odds with an increasingly complex society, leading to a breakdown of order. This course promises no liberation from pointless conflicts or inane tragedies. Physical traits do not represent the limit of our potential. Why then should we relinquish that potential when our hearts cease to beat? I realized it was past time that we corrected our heading. Nothing more.
Even then, you were always so single-minded. I too have a vision for the future, and your plan is not a part of it. I won't let you harm another Alexandrian.
Then fight we must. Thankfully, the entity I now summon will make short work of you and your comrades.
A summoning.
What now? What was that? A chill? No, something else. I feel so cold. So weak.
Across Alexandria, a certain emotion is taking hold. The fear of death. Terror for the eternal darkness that will, without fail, engulf the lives of every living thing. Allow me to introduce it to you.
I got it! I got one! 4,999! That's how many people he said they were up to! I made it just in time. Now to register. Death can't touch me now. I'm free of all that crushing fear. Forever.
Congratulations to all who have acquired a Neo-Regulator. We have reached our total of 5,000 registered users. The day of deliverance you were promised will soon be upon us.
I'll give it back! I don't want to die. I don't want to die. You think that's what I want?
Remember now. Remember your fear of dying. That terror will carry you across the threshold, make of you an endless. Your prayers will birth a miracle which commands death itself.
What in the... What's going on?
Securing the requisite ether is simple. I need only reroute lightning energy from living memory. Then I encourage the populace to define its form through hope and thought and prayer. Such an abstract method, however, is rife with unpredictable elements. What I wanted was an entity that could defeat you with utmost certainty. To that end, I set strict parameters for a concept of my own design. It was a laborious task, one that required almost more time than I had, but I managed it in the end. And now, everything is in readiness. I bid you, come forth.
What is that?
Necromon. Yes. Was right. Nine.
A primal summoning, and one defined by a concept, no less. How did he learn such techniques?
Ascians.
Keep these close.
Warding skills.
That is a false deity, brought into being through the prayers of the desperate and the hopeful. The talismans will protect your minds from being enthralled.
Do you still mean to stand against me? That remains to be seen.
Yeah. Oh. Things should also be there. Crafting. I mean, I already have the. will it be called? Is he actually just gonna be called Necron, or... Necron, yeah. They're actually named them Necron.
Those who obstruct evolution shall suffer the rotting fate of all flesh. You are bound by the limits of flesh. It will betray you. Drag them to their graves. There.
I'm gonna stay here. Okay. Goodbye platform? No.
Do you not see? Death is upon you. Perhaps this.
I don't look at that.
Kill them. Bothersome. Kill them.
Oh, okay. There was a
Fear
fell.
compounds fear, eroding your strength. I will reduce you to ether. You will die for me now. Accepting death is the greatest sin a life can commit. The endless darkness engulfs you.
Oh. That guy jumped off.
Still alive. But there are ways to change that. There.
Oh, that's a custom death animation, I'm guessing, unless
Those who do not resist
got put in the
deserve
thing again.
it.
That's out, then in. I didn't check the third one.
I am prepared for you. Kill them. Fight, if you must. There. You struggle in vain.
Out.
Once the terror takes root, it will only continue to grow. Kill them.
Okay. Out.
Fear compounds fear, eroding your strength. I will reduce you to ether. Those who do not resist death deserve it.
Out. In. Out. In. So.
I am prepared for you.
Done with Force of
Kill them.
In, out, and out. I went out too fast.
There. You struggle in vain.
Is it over?
Now, the memory bank.
It's shielded.
I invited you to destroy it. I did not say I would let you. It is clear your strength cannot be gauged by ordinary means. But I anticipated as much.
What did you do to it?
The ignorance is almost laughable. You do not understand that you yourselves are to blame. You brought death to my creation. What do you suppose happens when a being manifested by the fear of dying experiences that terror firsthand? It grows stronger.
I feel it again. That same weakness.
It will rise again and again until the lightning which infuses this entire world has been drained to its last spark. You fight a losing battle.
God damn you.
Harnessed in this manner, does it not demonstrate just how powerful mankind's aversion to death truly is? You will not prevail against this foe. I, meanwhile, will continue my crusade against mortality. So long as our memories endure, we may live on. That is the promise I offer.
So long as our memories endure. This is wrong, Calyx. You twist the meaning of those words. They are not meant to teach the living that physical death is nothing to fear. They are meant to offer comfort to those we leave behind. I know that litany all too well. I heard it time and time again over the course of the war. Help me, Shale. I must speak to Alexandria. Make my voice heard.
Nahe, don't you recognize me? Nahe!
What's happening? What's wrong with them? What will become of us?
Fellow Alexandrians, please, heed my words.
What now? Another broadcast?
I know that voice.
Death can be frightening and terrible. I understand the desire to forget, to seek eternal life and be freed from fear. Yet, we live in this world in the here and now, the bearers of memories varied and rich. Our worries can weigh heavy, and there may be nights when the darkness feels like more than we can bear. But if we can endure those dark hours, the world will always brighten come the dawn. And in the chill of that new morning, will the memories of loved ones be there to warm us and carry us forward? So do not forget their passing. Let them be our courage. Fear not a life well lived. For one day, the memories we leave behind will be the warmth another needs when their morning finds them.
What is this reaction? An irregular factor in the equation. Eliminate her.
No, you don't!
Memories cannot be duplicated, but they can be transferred.
Leave the Primal to us. Hurry, and take care of that memory bank.
I gave her my word! I promised I would protect her people!
And we will protect them! Together!
The others.
Careful. You're badly hurt. You'd be lucky if you only broke a bone or two. It won't be long until your fever rises. We need to see you back to Tuliyorol and into the care of a chirurgeon.
I kept my promise.
Thank you, Lamati.
She has it to regain consciousness, but worry not, Lamech. But she will be. Been in touch with Baokoana. He has made arrangements to convey her home, by which he means to come and fetch Lamachi himself, apparently. In the extent of her injuries and exertion, she'll likely spend many days abed. Oh, Klamath. Just can't help yourself, can you? Like a certain someone that said we couldn't have done it without you. Once she had the barrier down, but that Calix's stored memories were destroyed along with the memory bank. Means preservation is no more ripe. Longer will Calix dictate the course of our people. No longer will our creed be locked away or forgotten. Freedom to fill away in sadness, to fill all that are meant to in the hands of Alexandrians once more. I can never thank you enough. We are rested and ready. We shall have to conduct a thorough investigation into how Calix came to know the summoning ritual. Aye. For where there are primals, the Ascians are near far. And we must consider that those who offered up prayers during the summoning may very well have fallen under the entity. We shall wait here with our patient until Baokoana arrives. Feel free to go on ahead and tend to Alexandria's needs in the meantime. Guess we should get going. I'll contact Shell and route en route. Ask for an update on choosing the city. Shall make for the outskirts first then? Then check on things there before heading to Everkeep. One has been teaching me what it means to be enthralled by Primal. The outskirts seem untouched by trouble, as far as I can tell. What if something awful has happened? Deep breaths. Ernville and Shell have brought me up to speed. First up, just as we'd fear, those who adopted the new regulator appear to have been enthralled. So far, however, they've not shown any hostility towards others. I suspect this was due to the calming effect of your broadcast. Government administrators are presently working with the rest of the citizenry to bring the afflicted into the care of the authority. I am happy to report that this seems to be proceeding in a largely peaceful way. Which is all well and good, but the city officials are understandably requesting an explanation of events. I'll be able to handle that. Suddenly, I'll return to aid with the treatment efforts forthwith. Meanwhile, might I suggest look on the people you fought so very hard to save. May he's find the fruits of your efforts firsthand. Thank you again. How very unfortunate we are to have you as our allies. Now enter message terminal. Blades in waiting. You know what? Finish it up. No. Not a stream.